Adi? You're dead.
I'm here now.
He doesn't know.
Hi guys, welcome to Stitches and Story, where every stitch tells a story. Go ahead and like this video, drop a comment, and share it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to join us. Let's jump straight into today's story.
They say, when the dead are buried, they should never return, but in a quiet street in Benin City. A bride came back home just 3 days after her funeral, not as a memory, not as a dream, but in flesh. And something far worse. Her husband opened the door that night, and that one decision cost him everything. This is the story of the bride that returned after burial. Listen carefully, because if you ever hear a knock in the middle of the night, make sure you don't answer. Hello everyone, welcome to Stitches and Stories, where every Stitches tells story. Please subscribe, like, comment and share so that our videos will be recommended, and please tell us where you are watching from. The rain began the night they buried Aid, not a soft, peaceful rain, the kind that sings you to sleep. No, this one came angry. It slapped the rooftops, flooded the red earth roads, and soaked through the white mourning clothes of everyone who had followed her casket to the grave. In Benin City, people said it was a bad sign. Aid had been a bride just 3 days before. Her wedding had been loud, beautiful, full of dancing and laughter. The kind of wedding people talked about for weeks. Her husband, Ben, couldn't stop smiling that day. He held her hand like he was afraid she might disappear. Maybe he knew something no one else did, because on the third night after the wedding, Aid died. They said it was sudden illness. Some whispered poison. Others said it was spiritual. But nobody could explain how a healthy bride collapsed in the middle of laughter and never woke up again. So they buried her quickly, too quickly. 3 nights after the burial, the rain returned. Ben sat alone in their room, still wearing the white singlet he had worn since the day she died. The house was quiet, too quiet. Even the generator outside seemed to hum softer, like it was afraid he hadn't slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her smiling, then falling, then, suddenly, knock. Ben froze. He turned slowly toward the door. Another knock, knock. Knock. His throat went dry. Who is there? He called out, his voice barely holding together. No answer, just the sound of rain. And then, a soft voice, Ben. Open the door. His heart stopped. That voice, it couldn't be. It sounded exactly like Aid. No. He whispered, backing away. No, this is not possible. But the voice came again. Calm. Gentle. Familiar, Ben. It's me. His legs moved before his mind could stop him. Slowly, shaking, he walked to the door, and opened it. She stood there, drenched in rain, barefoot. Her white burial cloth clung to her body like wet skin. Mud stained the edges. Her hair was loose, tangled, dripping water, but her face was still Aid, still beautiful, still his wife. Ben, she said softly, stepping forward. He staggered back. They buried you, he said, his voice cracking. I watched them. I know, she replied. Her eyes didn't blink. I was there. Ben wanted to scream. To run. To call the neighbors, but he didn't, because a part of him, something deep and foolish, was still in love. Aid. He whispered. What? What is this? She smiled, and for a moment, it looked normal. I came back to you, she said. Days passed, and somehow Aid stayed. She moved back into the house like nothing had happened. She cooked. She cleaned. She even laughed sometimes, but not like before. No one saw her outside. Ben made sure of that, because something was wrong. She never ate in front of him, never slept, and every night, at exactly 2 a.m., she would sit upright on the bed, staring into darkness, listening. One night, Ben pretended to sleep. He watched her. At 2 a.m., just like before, she sat up, but this time, she spoke, not to him, to something else. They are still looking for me, she whispered. Ben's chest tightened. Not yet, she continued. He doesn't know. A cold fear crept into his bones. Who was she talking to? The next morning, he went to the grave, Aid's grave. The soil was disturbed, not completely dug up, but not untouched either, and then he saw it, finger marks, from inside. That night, he confronted her. Who are you? He demanded, his voice shaking with anger and fear. Aid looked at him, smiled slowly. You asked me to stay, she said. I prayed for you to come back. And I did. Her voice changed, just slightly, deeper, colder, but not everything that returns is what you buried. The lights went out, the room fell into darkness, and in that darkness, Ben heard something moving. Not walking, crawling, fast, around him, behind him, above him. Then, right beside his ear, a whisper, you should have let me rest. The neighbors said they heard a scream that night, a long, terrible scream. By morning, the house was empty, no Ben, no Aid, just mud footprints leading to the door, and stopping there. Till today, when rain falls heavily in Benin City, some people claim they see a bride walking barefoot in the streets, drenched, silent, searching, and if she knocks on your door at night, do not answer, because love, sometimes, doesn't know when to stay buried. Nobody truly knows what happened to Ben. The house was found empty, no signs of struggle, no blood, just silence, and those muddy footprints that stopped right at the door. Some say Aid never left that night. Some say she finally took him with her. But the elders in that street will tell you something different. They say not everything that comes back from the grave is human, and not every spirit comes alone, because on certain nights, when the rain falls heavily, neighbors still hear a soft knock on their doors, slow, patient, waiting, and sometimes, if you listen closely, you'll hear a woman's voice whisper, open the door. So if you ever find yourself alone, late at night, and you hear that knock, no matter how familiar the voice sounds, no matter how much you miss them, do not answer, because some love stories are never meant to continue after burial. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share.
I hope you enjoyed the story. Subscribe for more stories like this. See you in our next story. Bye.